For 148 days, the world has been locked in a massive war that the U.S. Congress never actually authorized. Despite the lack of a formal declaration, the conflict is currently strangling global energy supplies and forcing cargo ships to pay a $2 million crypto ransom just to pass through international waters. The trigger was pulled on February 28, 2026. The United States and Israel launched a massive, coordinated, and entirely surprise airstrike on Iranian soil. The immediate result of that strike was staggering. It assassinated Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, along with more than 40 senior officials in a single blow. Officially, the strike was justified as preemptive self-defense, but soon after, a U.S. senator on the Intelligence Committee confirmed a shocking reality. There was absolutely no evidence that Iran was actually planning to attack. The decision was purely a preemptive call. A unilateral military operation intended to cleanly neutralize a perceived threat overnight instantly ignited an uncontrollable, cascading global crisis. In Tehran's Behesht Zahra cemetery, Marzia Rezai weeps by a fresh grave. Her son, Erfan, was killed in a military camp blast just days before he was scheduled to come home. His death highlights a grim statistic of the fighting so far. For every soldier killed in this conflict, roughly 100 civilians are dying. The man who inherited this broken nation is the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei. In the initial strike that killed his father, Mojtaba also lost his mother and his wife. According to U.S. intelligence, he was severely wounded and likely disfigured in that same blast. He hasn't been seen in public for months. He didn't even attend his own wife's funeral. The decapitation strike replaced a known hierarchy with a faceless, unpredictable adversary, driven now by personal loss as much as political ideology. Iran's immediate retaliation was wide-ranging and destructive. They fired over 500 ballistic missiles in a single wave, instantly spilling the conflict across borders into Lebanon, Iraq, and the UAE. But the truly devastating blow happened at sea. Iran rapidly mined the Strait of Hormuz, deploying attack boats to enforce a total blockade against all Western shipping. Look at this graph showing the global daily oil supply. This sudden drop represents 21 million barrels, nearly 30% of the world's crude, instantly cut off from the market when that strait closed. Out of this blockade, Iran established a bizarre extortion system, calling it the Persian Gulf Strait Authority. They began charging a $2 million toll for any vessel attempting to cross, and they forced shipping companies to pay that ransom in yuan, Bitcoin, or Tether. Iran bypassed a direct military defeat by weaponizing a geographical choke point, exerting control over the global supply chain. The economic shockwaves hit the West immediately. Within 48 hours, Brent crude oil surged past $130 a barrel, and U.S. gas prices spiked by 38%. Thousands of miles away, India became an entirely exposed bystander. They rely on the Gulf for 91% of their cooking gas, and the supply disruption hit their domestic infrastructure hard. Beyond energy, there is a human powder keg. Over 9 million Indian expatriates live and work in the Gulf. Their safety is now a massive domestic electoral issue for the Indian government. If a single Indian worker dies in a stray missile strike, it could force an emergency evacuation, dwarfing the historic 1990 Kuwait airlift. A targeted strike in the Middle East has mutated into a direct economic and political crisis for nations thousands of miles from the front lines. In July 2026, we are past the 148-day mark of a war without a formal declaration. Every attempted ceasefire has collapsed, and the U.S. has reimposed a strict naval blockade on the region. The U.S. president recently admitted that there is no exit strategy, and his current statements regarding Iran's nuclear threat directly contradict his original justification for ordering the strike in the first place. By attempting a preemptive strike to secure the future, the aggressors locked the globe into a permanent, unauthorized war with no clear way out.